Okay, this is the part 2 of packing your in-between bag. We're just kind of going through and just kind of messing with this stuff. Oh yeah, 28 all-wire gauge. Now I do have more of this stuff I'm gonna have in my larger bag. Now I have some copper wire. It's good for a lot of things. If you had to use it for certain snares, if you had to use it for, you gotta cover it up because it's kind of shiny, But in some cases, you can actually track animals. Electrical tape. With duct tape, you can do a lot with that. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a trine thing. You can put this on the end of a spear. I just call this a trine. It's called a fish frog spear. And you just use this to literally catch fish. Just silver saving energy, stuff like that. You can also make those out in the wilderness, but if you have one, you have one. 550 cord bracelets. The idea of this is I can get I have this tied to my arm, a couple of these. I can sling myself down out of trees by this stuff in trees, right? And that was what parachutes like to do. And listen, it's just good to have 550 cord. I mean, if you have to tie people up or whatever, right? Like I was in a situation in Afghanistan where they straight up there was a local national there. He did not have we just didn't happen to have flex cuffs on us. We were transporting him from one place to another on a fob, and literally I didn't have anything. I mean, it sucked. I had to do the hand restraint method, and it was absolute bullshit. And that, among many reasons, is why you always have one of those bracelets. This is just a quick multi-tool corkscrew ball opener or whatever, right? It looks more like a party one than a survival one, but we ain't judging. Okay, this is just threaded, just stuff for sewing, and that is the bottom of that pack. That's the bottom of that pack. Okay. I really can't really see that cheeseburger. I'll tell you what. Okay, this is remember I told you about the survival tin? Well, this is a more complex, it's almost like one of those, but it has more stuff in it. I mean, I'm not gonna pull all this stuff out, but it has a tactical pen and one I'm looking at, basic fishing stuff. Just a lot of random stuff. I don't want to pull everything out of this. Oh my god, yeah. Even as a lure. Yeah. It's such a pain in the butt to get everything back into this thing. I don't even like opening it. I regret even doing that. Now you see why we have the smaller tin and why I made these side pockets. Put these side pockets on because, you know what? You don't want to have to deal with the mess again. This thing opening and closing it. I'm just going to set that to the side. Okay, now, this is something important too that I have. I have some nice little reference guides. This is recommended herbs and spices for your food storage. This is a good survival checklist so that if you run into people, you can literally teach them, hey, just go for this stuff. Things like that. This is just a cool random sheet on nothing. you know, on just a bunch of stuff. I have that. Now, if you have to teach people marksmanship, like in a hurry, right? Like if they've never been trained, this is a USMC target, and the beautiful thing with this is catch. For every feet I go out on this equals 1 meter of equivalence because of its size and shape of an actual human target. So if I have to teach someone quick, just, I'm talking just snap in, or if we made photocopies, maybe we could actually do actual shooting. I could teach someone table 2 shooting on this, which is part of the combat marksmanship program, or at least when I was in the Marine Corps, that's how that was. You're talking like double taps, failure drills, and stuff like that. So this is something that I just pulled from some kind of survival cooking back in the day. It's got like pocket tissues, matches, stuff like that, right? This is a head net for like mosquitoes, things like that. I don't recommend using it as a net, but you can. Okay, now this is something super important. Like it should, you know what? It should be on the outside of packs half the time. This is called your e-tool. Now, I got this e-tool. This has a digging end here, has, you know, a sharp end, which on these axes, they both have the sharp end. They have that for a reason, in case you need to like punch into things harder. Now, you know, you get this. Now, Russians, for example, like Russian Special Forces Spetsnaz, they make their people, they used to have a static one where it didn't like bow out or anything. Those guys used to train their people on how to be hidden people, you know, walk up, just smash people with these things. These things will eventually break on you. You don't want to try to do this for anything other than digging. But that's whatever. Had to, this would be a much better choice. But, you know, limitation. We don't want to talk about that much on this channel because we talk about getting away, evading, leaving, right? But, you know, because my background being in the Marine Corps, I have a little different flavor on this. And so you have to bear with me for some of the stuff's not 100% peaceful. Zip ties. Good to have. Let's just stick this where it needs to be. Yeah. You start seeing why they say, hey, one part in, one part out, one object in, one object out. Because, you know, imagine unloading everything and putting it all back. Okay, I have 3D printed brass knuckles. Yes, 3D printed brass knuckles. You never know, right? This is a just quick water jug. You know, like with that other water filter I showed you earlier, like in that earlier video, car part 2, you can fill this up too. The idea is you fill your water bladders up first, and then you drink with that like straw, so that, and the idea is that you want to drink using your life straws, things like that, so you're not going into your reserve. Because 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and then I ain't going 3 days without food. I mean, I get pretty freaking hungry, but, you know, they claim 3 days without food. Regular work gloves, you know, these are kind of on the thin side, but hey, regular work gloves or regular work gloves. We have a bunch of these bungee cord straps. Remember how I showed you how that poncho has those grommets with those rings? Yep, you're attaching these to things. using the 550 cord, using whatever you need, tying them together. You got a whistle in here. I'm pretty sure there's matches in here. I'm not opening it. Don't feel like it. Oh yeah, Oakley glasses. Let's see what I have in here. They're not Oakley glasses, but they are just a pair of glasses. A pair of nice, good quality sunglasses. Try to get non-polarized lenses if you can. I don't think those are polarized. Who knows? But point is, the sandstorms when I was in Afghanistan, my God, they were huge. They were just like, oh. They looked like these little twister things. It looked like straight out of like that movie Beetlejuice. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They were like really high up, and all that was coming into your eyes. It was awful. Plus the sun was like, you know, it could do serious damage to you if you weren't careful, you know. Ooh, let's see. Iodine water purification iodine tablets. And then I have a little flask thing for that, like big stainless steel flask. And yeah, so water purification. But I mean, that's like, you know, for different stuff. Deployment camera. Let's see. More ponchos. You just can't have enough of them. You know, like eventually, and these aren't just ponchos for yourself. This is ponchos for other people. This is water collection devices. This is, you know, you have to be mindful of like making shelters. You have to keep this gear waterproofed as much as you can. You do not want water soaking this stuff, because this stuff is important, and most of this stuff has to stay dry. Like imagine if there was a bunch of water and, you know, you fried your electronics, or you dissolved your water purification tablets, you know. I mean, we have all sorts of different stuff. So you see where, like, this bag just starts making your life easier. Like, you know, we, in a survival situation, we could get by with, like, the day pack. People that are really good could get by with my EDC kit. But this is where we start going into straight up creature comforts, you know, as best as you could get in a survival situation. Another reason too why you want to leave space in this and you want to start attaching things on the outside is because you want to be able to stick a sleeping bag in here, a small sleeping bag. Now don't leave it compressed in here. I actually leave my sleeping bags uncompressed. Same with that Whoopee and stuff. I don't compress it down as far as it can go, because you don't want to start messing with like the insulation in that, because that could be very bad if you start doing that, because the more you compress something, the more it's going to lose the fiber's abilities to hold in the warm or cold air that you need. So it's very important to be very mindful of that. And yeah, you want to practice like getting this stuff in and out of the bag really quick. I'm taking a while on this, way longer than you should, because I want it to be in there nice and orderly and be able to be pulled out quickly. You know, if you just shove it in, it's not always the best situation. But that is my in-between bag. Remember, you take the you take that red day bag and the other stuff that I told you in the truck video to put in your day bag, and you kind of just shove it all in. And Yeah, I really regret opening this one up. I wish I wouldn't have, but it's been a while since I looked in it. All right. I hope you all have a good day.